What's up, YouTube? It's your friendly neighborhood GM, your host, Coach Key, and welcome to Legends of Dice Cafe, where we learn about tabletop RPGs from old school to modern and do lots and lots of solo gameplay. Back with my weekly video, like I try to do on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And today's video is Patreon's choice, and everyone that voted picked that I should do a quick review on Mothership RPG, a sci-fi horror, and Cloud Empress. I briefly went over these two games in my tabletop RPGs that are not D&D videos, so make sure you check that out when you get a chance. I have a part 1 and I have a part 2 up there. So, and I've got some pretty cool games that I think that you would enjoy if you're trying to look outside of D&D. Don't forget to make sure you hit that thumbs up button so YouTube will push it out to more and more people, and YouTube will think that I'm pretty freaking cool on top of that, okay? So, and if you'd like to further support the channel beyond what you already do, hop on over to Patreon and subscribe to Legends and Dice Cafe. And without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into them. Let's get it. First, I want to show you guys real quick. I bought these cool new red dice. I think they look super awesome. I haven't bought any new dice in quite some time. I love the color red, and these were like $7 and some change. So I thought these were really cool. And for tonight's game, I'm playing a wizard, and this is the miniature that I'm choosing to. I think they're Whiz Kids. I can't really remember, but he looks pretty cool. I haven't started painting them yet, but soon. There's like so many different things, and I'm still learning about the hobby and stuff, which is super cool. It's been a fantastic journey, and I appreciate all you guys for the advice, for the motivation, for the fantastically awesome words. Cloud Empress is a free PDF that you can download. And shouts out to Brian, supporter of Legends and Dice Cafe. Super fantastically awesome guy. Sent me some really fantastic things for me to try out. So this right here, The Dead Planet, is an adventure for Mothership Sci-Fi. And Cloud Empress is compatible with Mothership. So, and you'll see in a sec as far as the rules and everything goes, but let's hop into Mothership first. So this is a really cool thin book. This also has, inside of here, the Game Master is called The Warden. There's an actual book, The Warden's Operation Manual. I'm not going to be reviewing that today, but I think that it's definitely something to look into. And not just for someone running Mothership, I think it's a fantastic book. And some awesome advice for just a Game Master in general, Game Master, Referee, Judge, Warden, Dungeon Master. I like the word. I've been sticking with Game Master. This system uses D10s. It uses D10s in different ways. First, Mothership is, of course, a sci-fi horror RPG. And as you can see, with the spacesuit and the Mothership, you get a good idea of where we're going with this. It's a really simple and really easy system to get started playing with. I've been thinking that this, after I'm done with Dragon Bane, I'm just going to run a bunch of mini adventures, 1 to 4 sessions tops. That'll give me an opportunity to meet some awesome, fantastic people. So this is the player survival guide, and character creation in this is also super easy, super simple. And here's your character sheet. And this little area right here, I love this. It's really simple, and you see how it's in light gray. So if you're going to actually use it, you can go ahead and fill it in, which is I like. So we'll get into that in 1 sec. It uses D10s in 3 different ways. For the most part, when it comes to the stats, whether you're going to be successful or you fail, you'll roll your D10s, and then of course, one will be your 10s and one will be your 1s. So it'll be a 95. I like D100 systems. It's pretty interesting. The percentile is a pretty interesting system. Your stats are going to be strength, speed, intellect, and combat. The next thing you would do is you would just pick your class. You have 4 options for classes. You got Teamsters. They're the rough and tumble crew and workers out in space. If Ripley from Aliens is your hero, you'd want to play a Teamster. I like that. You've got Scientist. I don't even need to go into that. You've got Androids, and you've got Marines. And your save values, they represent how resistant you are to different kinds of trauma, danger, or damage, which I'm probably sure you're familiar with. And the saves that you have are sanity, fear, body, and armor. All of the classes, the stats are already prepared for where they are with sanity, fear, and body. So again, you would just fill it in. I like how they did that light gray. So then you can just fill it in and pick which one that you want. Super easy, super simple. These are just going to be some really quick reviews on both of these games. It breaks it down, the different types of dice rolls that you would typically do. And then it also has advantage and disadvantage. So advantage, you would roll D100s twice. For advantage, you're going to take the better dice roll. And then for disadvantage, you're going to take the worst dice roll. And then you have a section for your skills. Skills represent the accumulated knowledge, craft, techniques, and training you possess. Whenever you make a stat check and you have a relevant skill, you can add your skill bonus to your stat, giving you a higher number to roll under. Awesome. And there go your 4 different ranks of your skills. You've got untrained, trained, expert, and master. Then, of course, it has a list of trained skills, your expert skills, and your mastery skills. It's a pretty interesting game. I'm looking forward to trying this out. I'm looking forward to running it. See, I like heavier rule systems, and I like light rule systems. I definitely like the light rule systems. I notice with the light rule systems, then I'm focused less on maintaining the rules because there's such a limited amount of them. I forgot I failed to mention, and of course you do have critical hits and you do have critical failures, but I'm pretty sure you saw that when I was on this page. I said this wasn't going to be a detailed review on Mothership. I just wanted to give you a quick review, a quick introduction. If you're new to Mothership, it's a super cool game. Definitely something to look into. And crisis checks I thought were pretty interesting. So when a single check seems too simple, you can use a crisis check. Crisis checks represent longer, more arduous tasks, like performing surgery or mining an asteroid. And I thought this one was cool here. I wasn't surprised that I saw something about oxygen, but I haven't played a game yet where I needed to worry about oxygen. So in space, you can last 15 seconds without oxygen before you fall unconscious. After passing out, you can survive for 3 to 5 minutes before dying. And it goes into detail about if a ship's life support modules. That's another thing that I like about this game is having a ship and maintaining that ship as well, which is super cool. But we'll get into that in a few minutes. So yeah, so it gives you a layout on how your oxygen works for you and for your team, the crew on the ship, and for the ship. And then, of course, for money, you've got credits. And here are a few jobs that you can do in order to gain a little bit more credits. And then initiative is super easy. Check for surprise. Sometimes the various creatures, horrors, and denizens, I think, of a long forgotten spaceship will sneak up on you before making themselves known. When this happens, you make a fear save. Failure means you become so surprised that you are unable to act for 1 round. And then who goes first? After checking for surprise, you can then determine the turn order. First, you and your crewmates each make a speed check. Those who pass can act before the enemies, those who fail act after. I kind of like that. And how you attack? Attacking is a specific kind of significant action. So you've got significant actions, which would be these right here, and then you've got insignificant actions, just like talking or taking cover, looking around. So, and how you attacking is a specific kind of significant action performed by rolling the opposed check, which we skipped over. In ranged combat, the attacker makes a combat check against the defender's armor save. If the attacker if it succeeds, then you roll your weapon's damage. And as far as opposed checks, it kind of is what it sounds like it is. Opposed checks. When you are in a direct competition with another character, be that enemy or a friendly crewmate, you can roll what's called an opposed check. An opposed check. And I've never played a game where I needed ammunition, so I'm looking forward to that because you've got guns in this game. Combat guns, specialty guns. I'm looking forward to just using some guns. Then you've got your armor, equipment, and it looks like trinkets, patches. Let's see. Roll on your table when you find a random patch that you have sewn on your clothing or gear. Patches don't have any mechanical significance, but can give you insight into your character. That's interesting. And I like this right here. You can actually hire mercenaries. And they come with their own stats. There's this combat, instinct, hits, and loyalty I thought was pretty interesting. Rolled on hire. Loyalty is a save that should be rolled whenever the mercenary needs to make a choice between what's best for them and what's best for you. That's interesting. And of course, it gives you plenty of information on how to hire them. Mercenaries are fantastic if your crew is a little light. for I guess different reasons. But I like the idea. I like that a lot. Panic I thought was pretty interesting as well. And there's also a table for the panic effect. So a panic check determines whether you are able to keep your cool under extreme pressure. There are two steps. First, you would make a stress check, and if you roll equal to or lower than your current stress, you panic and move on to the next step, which is rolling on the panic effect. And here go your different options. Some of them don't sound too bad. Advantage on laser focus, advantage on all rolls for the next 10 D10 hours, and more adrenaline rush. Anxious, you gain one stress. But I like that. Different, it's a mixture of different things that can come about from stress. That's realistic. Sometimes it'll make people hyper focus, and then other times it has the ability to kind of, I don't know, tear them down or really weigh them down or weigh on them to the point where they can't focus. So I like that a lot. And of course, options on when to roll on panic. I like this. I like this game. And then, of course, resolve is the ability to ignore or cope with your accumulated stress. And next up is just your space in your traveling. And it also has, what I like is your ship. Purchasing your ship, refueling, upgrades, and repairs. I looked over this a little bit, but I'm learning even more as I'm going through it and flipping through the pages now. But I think that I couldn't figure out if I wanted to do this or Mouse Ritter next. But I'm thinking that Mothership would probably be either Mothership or Cloud Empress would probably be the next one that I run. So yeah, so you've got your information on your ship. I'm looking forward to actually building a ship, and your ship even has its own stats as well, which is super cool. And here is your sheet for you to fill out your information for your ship, and encourages you, of course, to kind of sketch out your layout, which I love. Yeah, I like this book. And on top of that, ship to ship combat. I love it. And that is the gist of Mothership. I think it's a fantastic game. Definitely worth looking into. Cloud Empress. Again, this is a free PDF. You cannot beat a free PDF. Ecological Science Fantasy RPG. And this is also compatible with Mothership. It's an expansive Nausicaa inspired setting. That art is so cool. What is Cloud Empress? Cloud Empress is an ecological science fantasy setting that places you in a world ruled by patterns of giant magical cicadas. Find a way to thrive, live, and love in the psychic wreckage of Earth, scavenging in the junk of the ancient people who abandoned it. Sounds pretty interesting. And rolling dice, again, it also uses the d10s. And for simple tasks, seeing if you succeed or not, you're going to roll that D100. Character creation is pretty easy as well, and it's got a really easy step-by-step guide. And as far as the stats on this one, you've got mind, your ability to logically solve problems, recall facts, and use crest. Heart, your ability to emotionally connect, communicate, cast spells, and intuit otherworldly forces. Strength, your ability to lift, push, the regular, perform melee combat, of course. And in speed, your ability to run and throw, and do delicate work with your hands and perform ranged combat. And this one, of course, also has saves. Their saves are reality, fear, and body. Thought reality was pretty cool. Your ability to resist the false becoming the true. I thought that was pretty interesting. It doesn't have classes or races. You choose a job, and the options that you have are four of them. You've got a sellsword. Sellswords can handle themselves in a fight, but long to find home. You've got a lordling. Lordlings are grown to lead and strike fear in those around them. You've got a magician. Magicians sacrifice their body to cast dangerous spells. I thought that was interesting as well. And you have a courier. Couriers are scrappy travelers who've witnessed the best and worst of the world. And again, this one is super. The rules are super easy and super simple. I can see how it will be compatible. Super easy and super system. And again, yes, of course, when you want to do something risky, you make a stat check. And of course, those will be your stats. It does have criticals. It does have critical hits, your disadvantage and your advantage. It also has your stress and your panic. This right here I also thought was pretty interesting, the spell section. And here you go, you have a chart for your spells, the effect, and the after effect on caster, which is pretty cool. For the next 3 days, Nearby animals follow the caster, barking, howling, meowing, and hissing. Yeah, that's pretty cool. The caster cannot willingly eat vegetables for 5 weeks. This is pretty interesting. The caster must roll with an additional disadvantage on all future wound rolls. Spell, so chalk is ingested, thrown, and spread as a catalyst for the world's last miracles. When someone casts a spell, they use chalk to goad the slip and summon nearby truths to this reality. Definitely interesting. The chalk encourages the sip, but chalk alone is not enough. A spell is a poem through the chalk and breathe the words of our mothers' grandmothers, passed down from warm hand to warm hand. Villages from around a single spell cultivating it for 100, 200 years until it is perfected. Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. And then on how to cast a spell. So you sprinkle, toss, or ingest at least one stick of chalk. So you can use additional sticks of chalk to increase the spell's number of targets, range, and or duration. You recite the spell, then you have to take one stress and make a heart check. And then for your combat section, it's called the violence. It's the violence section. So when attacks, it says most attacks automatically hit. When making a difficult melee, make a strength check to successfully hit your target. When making a difficult ranged attack, make a speed check to successfully hit your target. Tools of violence, rounds of violence. And it also has a section for animal friends and foes, NPC morale, and a list of different NPCs. And that's the gist of Cloud Empress and Mothership. I really like this one. I think it's really interesting, but Mothership is, they're different and interesting and different in their own ways, but clearly much alike. So, but that's the gist of this. I hope you check them out. They're fantastic. They're both great. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to tune into the video. I'm recording this on Wednesday, but I'm recording it early, and normally I don't record until Wednesday night. But tonight I'm going to go into D&D, play my wizard, my human wizard, and hopefully level it up to level 3 if my PC doesn't die tonight. So I'm looking forward to it. As always, don't forget to make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you comment and make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on any of the cool content I post on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're on Twitch, I'm still new to Twitch, so it's just Coach Key. Look me up and add me, and I'll see you there. And from there, that's where I'll be playing a lot of my favorite video games. As always, don't forget to make sure you have a super fantastically awesome Friday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and have a great start to your Friday. And I'll see you guys here, same time next week, 8 p.m. Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and peace.